Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Goodness Village podcast, aka The Good Pod. Today, I'm sitting down with Executive Director Kim Curtis and Community Engagement Manager Jackie Ayo. How are we doing?
Doing very well. Enjoying the weather cooling down.
Kim, how are you? You have a microphone too.
I didn't want to talk over her. Doing really good. I'm excited to be here having this podcast time, spending it with you two. And it's fall, so I'm really excited about fall weather.
Yes, it's finally cooled down, probably 30 degrees over the last week, and I'm very here for it.
Mm-hmm.
For our listeners, they might be thinking, hey, we've already heard an episode with Jackie and another episode with Kim, which were great episodes. Shout out season 1, episodes 1 and 2. But today's episode, we're not talking about Kim and we're not talking about Jackie. We are talking about something that we launched actually a couple months ago called the Good Neighbor Project. Kim, what is the Good Neighbor Project?
The Good Neighbor Project is an idea that came out of a friend of ours writing a book. It's called When We Walk By, and the author is Kevin Adler. And we were really fortunate enough to host him for one of his book signing events back in December. And there is a podcast on that.
Yes.
Definitely recommend people go check it out. And in that, we were having community conversations about people's myths and biasness about our unhoused neighbors and how we could provide services and support for them. And during that conversation, it became clear that this was something that we needed to continue within our community, with our macro community, and within our volunteers and our donor set, just to kind of give them the language of what happens here at the village for our unhoused neighbors, and then how to be just a good neighbor and a good person in their own neighborhoods. And now we're kind of doing this as a quarterly conversation.
Yeah, it's so cool that we're able to have this opportunity for folks in the community just to learn more about what and why Goodness Village exists, but also beyond just the village. You know, the conversations that we have for each of our Good Neighbor Project sessions isn't really about Goodness Village, but about what the Tri-Valley or what the Bay Area is really trying to do as far as supporting our unhoused brothers and sisters.
Yes. So I recently spoke about the Good Neighbor Project at an event, and I was mentioning how amazing it is that Goodness Village can go beyond just providing supportive housing for people, that we can use our organization as a platform to give a voice to people who may not have a voice, and make sure that we're educating the people who we would like to bring to the village on how they can be better neighbors themselves. So it's just really amazing that we can go beyond just providing housing for people.
Now, Jackie, you actually hosted the last Good Neighbor Project, right?
I did.
Tell me about that.
It was a very new experience for me. I'm not very camera shy, but it was still, it was a new experience for me being in front of a camera, interviewing basically two individuals with a plethora of knowledge about the topic of privilege, and educating the community and everyone who was in the audience on the concept of privilege. It was a really great learning opportunity for everyone, I thought, including myself, when I did the homework on what exactly is privilege, learning about different types of privilege beyond just white privilege or ageism or anything like that. And so it was just really nice to be able to educate myself further, even though I am in the world of social work and I know a lot of these terminologies and all these phrases. It's just still nice to be able to have a learning opportunity for myself as well.
So you talked about a lot how the last Good Neighbor Project was about privilege. Are each of the sessions about that topic, or are they? How's actually the Good Neighbor Project structured?
So each quarter, we have a different topic. We talked about privilege in the last one. We had a panel full of nonprofit leaders from various organizations in the Tri-Valley. And the one before that, just basically talking about their resources, how people in the community can access their resources should they come across somebody in need so they can do it with confidence. We talked about empathy with Aaron Horner. Great episode. So just different topics that we feel like the community may be lacking when it comes to their knowledge around it, or just stuff that we may have heard that we're thinking, you know what, that might be good for us to talk about in the next discussion.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what if somebody actually didn't have the chance to attend a Good Neighbor Project? Kim, where could somebody watch these episodes or these videos that we were able to record?
So they are available on YouTube. But I would definitely encourage you to check them out through our website because it's an easier way to get more understanding about what Goodness Village is, who all works there, as well as click on the link to seeing our podcast. And then if feeling so generous, it's a great way to donate or sign up to volunteer within the village itself.
Well, it sounds like the website is a one-stop shop, isn't it?
Sure is.
It's a golden place to go.
We are pro GV's website, www.gvlivermore.org.
I do also want to add in that the podcast has this really cool ability to create a ripple effect of the change that we are trying to create within not just Livermore and the Tri-Valley, but throughout through California and through the United States on how we treat just other human beings. And also on how terms are maybe just thrown around without people understanding what that means and how to implement them to be impactful in life, like the podcast with Aaron Horner and empathy. We all use the word empathy a lot, but we don't often know what that means or how to show up with somebody with empathy. And so it was an opportunity to kind of educate even people who think they know what that word means, but to take it and utilize it in a real world way.
Yeah. GV exists for our 28 neighbors here, but we realize that part of our job as an organization is education and letting our community know what it means to support our neighbors here. But also you're talking about terminology and how we can really show empathy and the best ways to show up for those who are in need. So thanks again, guys, for sitting down with me for the Goodness Village podcast. Be sure to check out gvlivermore.org to hear all about the upcoming Good Neighbor Project sessions, new episodes coming out, and the latest things in the village. Guys, anything else we need to add to this episode before I forget?
Our next discussion is going to be in January. It's a very special discussion, so be on our socials and our website to find out more information about that.
Thanks for listening to the Goodness Village podcast. Production and recording was done by the village's operations team and in collaboration with Crosswinds Church. Music was created by Club 88 member AJ Parr. If you want to know more about Club 88, this podcast, or Goodness Village, please visit our website at gvlivermore.org. Thanks again for listening to The Good Pod.